School is a good thing. Learning is a good thing. I go to school to learn. I shall know ABC. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Papa. Angelina, oh Mama. Angelina, oh Papa. Jane, 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 Jane and Law. This is how it will be come Monday the 5th September 2022 across the nation as hundreds of thousands of students and pupils will be entering their school for the 2022-2023 school year. But with that in mind, the restive regions of the Northwest and the Southwest region have been epileptic when it comes to rendering the services of formal education within the periphery of a classroom. To that effect, when the conflict of the Northwest and Southwest region started in the early 2017, when it metamorphosed into a full-blown armed conflict, when we started witnessing the full closure and the burning down of schools and educational institutions, the kidnapping of stakeholders of educational institutions by the belligerents. In all of these, the UNESCO puts the statistics that close to 85,000 students and pupils of the Northwest and the Southwest region are out of school, and holds that more than 5,000 schools have been burned down and destroyed as we speak. Recently, that in Bafut and in Moya, they were recently burnt down by unknown or unidentified individuals. Education, according to United Nations and even Cameroon's law and even our African traditional law, remain an inalienable right of every child. And even the Bible says there is a right to life and there's a right to study. And the Bible puts it that there is a dignity of the human person. Despite current calls for effective resumption of schools in the restive Northwest and Southwest region to catch up with the remaining 8 regions of the nation, it is still epileptic in the restive region, as some parents are unwilling and some are afraid because of the security situation and some are afraid because of the belligerent. Be it as it may, what should be done for effective resumption of schools in the Northwest and the Southwest region, as well as promoting and enhancing education within the restive northern part of Cameroon? This is House of Commons with me, Tah MaH Jarvis. You're welcome back from that transition. If you are just joining us, you are watching House of Commons with me, Tah MaH Jarvis. And today's edition of our program, we are looking at what needs to be done for effective resumption of schools within the restive Northwest and the Southwest region of the nation. These regions have been epileptic when it comes to rendering educational services, formal educational services, within the context of a classroom. They have been epileptic. And as I earlier mentioned in my introduction, that the UNESCO puts it that close to 85,000 students and pupils within the restive Northwest and Southwest region have been out of schools. And as we speak right now, some schools are still constantly being attacked despite current calls for men, those within the Northwest and Southwest region, to send their children to school, and calls for the belligerent to exercise restraint when it comes to educational environment. It is clear under the Geneva Convention that educational institutions, churches, as well as hospitals and refugee centers are no-go areas when it comes to battling and when it comes to war. But this is not the case, or seemingly not the case, within the restive region. And both sides, the belligerents, are accusing and pointing fingers on each other. You will hear, they will tell you, A will tell you, we don't want schools because in the Northwest and Southwest region, because there is a war and that children may be caught on a crossfire. B will tell you it is A that is causing this havoc, so send your children to school, we shall protect you. Parents are caught between the devil and the deep blue sea, and the government, who has been advocating for effective resumption, has been doing their best to ensure that schools resume effectively. But what needs to be done so far for this year for academics and the former classroom to be safe in the Northwest and the Southwest region? Kedia Robert is from the Cameroon Renaissance Movement Party, and he's representing his own views here as Cameroon Democratic Movement Party, CPDM. Kedia Robert is a CPDM militant from the Cameroon Democratic Movement Party, and I want to welcome you, Kedia.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Greetings to my co-panelists. Greetings to all our viewers that have taken their time to sit in front of their screen and to listen to us analyze issues regarding to back to school in the Northwest and Southwest region, most especially which we have been going through this period of the ongoing armed conflict. We've been talking about this since 2017, 2018, 2019, and here we are again 2022, but there is a progress. So within this program, we'll give our own views on how it will help the people back home, on how it will help the government, so that education could be effective come 2022 academic year.
Thank you very much. Joining us in Boya is G. Lucas, also a promoter of schools and someone who have been advocating for effective resumption despite the socio-political atmosphere within the Northwest and Southwest region. G. Lucas have been firm in promoting education and in order to welcome those internally displaced persons within the extreme part of the Southwest region to have education in May 16. G. Lucas, happy Sunday.
Thank you very much, Tah MaH Jarvis. It's a pleasure to be on House of Commons on this Sunday morning, which is the eve to back to school. And being the eve for back to school, I think it is something that we should not indeed take it lightly, because as you earlier said, the situation on the ground gave me no reason, did not give Rehamed any reason as an organization, and did not give me any reason as an individual to allow children sit in the house without going to school. As a result of that, I find no reason practically to think that this is a time for us to compromise with this particular issue of back to school, bearing in mind that it is only the head that has the requisite information can solve the existing problems. It is only the head that has the requisite information can solve the existing problems. And we have existential threats which stems from the issue of people's welfare to that of individuals, which I think we should not take it lightly. Thank you.
Boya, if to back to school, you are joining us in Boya, precisely in May 16, which has been noted to be the hotspot of the crisis.
Yes. So far, I want you to understand that a few days ago, Rehamed was actually on the streets of Boya, some parts of Boya, where we decided to do what we call education evangelism, where we had the loudspeakers, where we had microphones, we mounted the streets, and we called on parents to ensure that children are not kept at home because it is their rights. And of course, as an organization that deals with the people's rights, we think it is only normal. So talking about the issue of back to school, personally, I visited some shops, I visited some markets, and I am impressed because the calls we have been making for these years hasn't gone into deaf ears. And we are seeing, because we had to make these calls to ensure that the kids should not sit in the house. I visited some bookshops, I visited some markets within the Boya municipality, and I am happy because the preparation relatively to that of last year is higher this year. I think it is because specifically in my 16, which you know, especially within the court, Moya court area, which of course we all know that it has been at the center for the issue of no school, because some of the parts within Boya, if you live around the Moliko area, if you live around the Sopor area, except for the regular Mondays, most of these areas last year had schooling, and the kids were in schools, and they did enjoy their rights to education, which I have to emphasize, because this is a right that we should not tamper with. It is the only right, like I was doing on the evangelism on education, where I said it is the only thing that parents can use to get their kids compared with those whose children live in glass houses and whose parents are owners of helicopters and aeroplanes, to compare with them, in the sense that this is the only tool that they will use to also sit in the same class with them, which can equally use it to change the stories, to change their lives, to better their lives, and to move forward. So I think the preparation on the ground is telling that this course, which we have been making for these years, has not gone into deaf ears. I want the viewers to understand that if you talk about a place like My 16, it has been a place where there was no schooling. Of course, My 16 is involving more than 4 villages. You have a Kande village, you have the Kombo village, you have the Bolifamba village, you have the Buanda village itself, and you also have the Bulu village. These are all the villages involved in the My 16 community, for those who do not know. And for the last 3 years counting, when Habert started the schooling call, and we had to put up a center because we understand it was obvious that kids should not sit in the house, I want you to understand that parents saw this and decided to also accept and get the bull by the horn, and their kids have been going to school because this is their right. We are not refusing that the crisis on the ground is there, but we are saying that not because of this crisis should the life of our children, should the education of our children be jeopardized. So Habert and every other stakeholder on the ground is not relating efforts to ensure that kids go to school.
Thank you very much, G. Lucas. Here in the studio, we have Innocent Barozil, who is also a teacher and knows very much about the situation in the Moya Court area, schooled in GBHS Moya at the time when he was HS Moya. And so you are a teacher currently in Douala, you have a school in Moyuka, and you are witnessing the situation in Moya just of recent. GBHS Moya was burned down, part of the school was burned down by unidentified persons. Does this mean that there is kind of tension on the ground as opposed to what it was last year? What can you make of the situation currently in the restive regions as far as back to school is concerned?
Oh yeah, Mr. Jarvis, thank you for inviting me once more. And my fellow panelists, Mr. Kedia, I'm happy to share the panel with him. Actually, it's really disheartening because no matter what is happening, they should allow people to go to school. No country can succeed without educated people. Because I don't know what we are actually fighting for. What are they fighting for? Because normally it's your right to demand something, but whatever they want to do, they should allow the children go to school. Because all things is happening because of illiteracy. Yes, all things is happening because of illiteracy. I want to appreciate what my brothers are doing in Boya to make sure that children go to school. But last week on Friday I was in Munya, and what I saw was it was not very good on the part of the government, because the way that means the number of trucks that I saw on the way when I was going to Munya, and when I was in short, it was heavily limited. That means I was even asking by what is happening.
But the government says that they are providing security and they
are
protecting.
Yes, I was asking that. No, but look, to be sincere with you, the truth is that there was a school in Boya that they were telling me that I should come and teach there. I was even considering it. But when I saw that, I just said, no, I cannot. Because the truth is that most of those things, the people are afraid. Because I saw more than 4 these big cars and more than 8 armor cars. Then because to me, I knew that the crisis had actually gone down drastically. But when I saw that, I was asking myself, but where are they going to?
But maybe that comes because the school in Moya, GBH Moya, was burned down, and so the government in preparation to avoid that such things should not happen to the other structures that were not burned down, probably deploy security officials.
Yes, and now these NGOs too, when they are working in Boya, because Boya is relatively, since this crisis even started, Boya has been relatively calm. But what of Kona? What of Moyoka? What of Munyenge, Ekata, Bafia, Yoke, Malende, Peter, all those, what is happening there? What can we actually do to make sure that the crisis...
Kandef?
Yes, Kandef. What are we making sure that these students also go to school? Because I want to beg that no matter what is happening, children should go to school. And the government knows that they need to play a very big part. Yes, they need to play a big part. They should withdraw these troops. At least there should be security. Because even before this crisis, there was always security. Policemen were always around. And policemen, they are even our friends. Because they are the ones securing us. Even here in Douala, they are the ones securing us. They were policemen. But the rate at which I saw boy was uncalled for.
So if I get your worry now, if I get your worry detailedly, the problem is that there should not be heavily militarization. But how do you protect lives and property again? Because we saw what happened in GBHS Moya. At the time, there have not been deployment of military forces. The military forces had reduced their concentration. But don't you think that the government is doing that because of what happened in GBHS Moya?
I'm sure maybe that can be the case. But if that is the case, at least I should look for another way to do it.
Okay.
Because leaving Munya and coming back to Douala from my 17, in short, from Munya itself, Munya market to Meselele, in short, that means it was not, to be sincere, I was afraid.
Because you have a control at the Moya police station in front. You have a control at my 18, that's 2. You have one towards my 16, that's 3. You have another one, my 14, that's 4. You have another one at Meselele, that's 6.
Even before me, there were in short, that day there were more cars.
Thank you.
Military people too.
Kedia Robert, I want us to usher in Nick Anu, who is a panelist here with us. And because of the rain, it's not been easy getting to the studio here. I want to appreciate all the panelists who have struggled to be here. You, Kedia, you, Nick Anu, you, of course, Innocent Barozil, especially also our brother on Skype, who is G. Lucas, to take out time. It's not been easy. Since morning, it has been raining cats and dogs here in the city of Douala. Kedia Robert Malamfe, what should be done? You left Boya yesterday. First, I want to get the atmosphere. You were in Boya yesterday. What is the atmosphere as far as preparation of back to school is concerned?
The market of Mutengene yesterday, Saturday, the people were so busy buying back to school didactic material for their children, and the market even closed about 7:30 to 8 o'clock. The life is there, and many people have realized, even the lawyers, even the teachers that said children should not go to school when this crisis started, have realized that it was a technical blunder that they did. And now I will tell you, it's no politics, but it's reality. In the 2 regions capital, the capital of the 2 regions, back to school there is effective. We are not debating or arguing. Everything there is under control. Talking about the headquarters of the 13 divisions of Northwest and Southwest, everything there is effective at the center area of this.
What of Libya, where the governor Okalia Bilai was begging and people to come back, and even in front of the installation of the new senior divisional officer there, we saw pictures that even the office of the SDO was kind of all in grass.
You're 100% correct. We even saw the journalist or whosoever was even holding the microphone when the governor was talking was even a uniformed man. You are 100%.
So is that
you are 100% correct. You are talking about a month ago. I'm talking about presently, okay, when the elite of Lebi Alem met in Boya and did good strategies to ensure that there is back to school. Mr. Jarvis, you will see the video tomorrow as children are going back to school in Lebialem. You will see the video. Measures have been put in place to ensure that these children go back to school. And we know the rascal that was there that was killed, that never wanted children to go to school. But the wife is there with millions all over in their mobile money. They are enjoying themselves, drinking 3-3 export, banning people not to drink brasseries in Lebialem, but they are drinking 3-3 export. He has been neutralized. and normalcy is getting back to Libya. It is a process, and all of us, we've seen the process. We can remember back those years of 2017 and 2018, where everywhere was really frightful that people could not send their children to school. But time has gone. 2021 is gone. 2022 academic year has started, and the desire of parents to send their children back to school is there. And now, one thing I also want people to know, many children that were in this littoral are going back. Many teachers that left Northwest and Southwest and they came here until a period that was even paid in 2014, 2013 for 1,500, because teacher came here, it went down to 900, 800. Now those teachers have gone back. And my brother, when you tell our viewers that there are military everywhere, you create an intention that is not real, because the Minister of Defense and the Secretary General of the National Security have put the rule there. All government school, lycée, all, not some, not only in the Northwest and Southwest region, all of them have men in uniform, gendarme and police. If you like, you go to Lycée de Bonaberi, you like, you go to Lycée de Nyala, you will see men in uniform there to assist in the security of our children. So there is no specificity as if it's only in the Northwest and Southwest region that we see people in uniform.
No, his worry was that he went to Moya and it was heavily militarized. He used the word heavily militarized. He even mentioned the number of trucks,
armor cars
that he saw, and he thinks that this should be done in a rather different way, without without seeing the uniform. Maybe they can be other way, but without seeing a uniform.
But they can even see uniform, but
things have improved in our region. The time has passed for us to talk about demilitarization. Those songs we sang in 2017 and 2018. We are progressing, and the people of the Northwest and Southwest understand now that the military is out to protect them.
Okay.
I do not say that the military don't have flaws.
Okay.
But the people love the military to protect them, because the military does not rape them, the military does not take them for ransom, the military does not cut their hands and say they should not go back to school, the military does not burn schools. So the people are more familiar with the military than our brothers that have decided to remain in the bushes, to carry out kidnapping, to gather, to have millions in their mobile money and drink 3 export.
We're coming back to you. Nick Anu has just joined us. Nick Anu, you listen to Kedia Robert, Madam Faye. Your views, you agree with him?
Not totally.
That Libya LM will be all good come tomorrow. He assured me, he said, I will see the videos.
I wish he can send his own brother to go there and school to prove that all be well. He's not talking from a theoretical perspective. You cannot just say it will be all well, 100% well. You talk about progression. Yes, we can accept progression, that things will not be like before. Exactly. Not like all will be fine. No, that will be an overstatement and over exaggeration. Yeah, we know that there's no war that came or that has come to any country to stay. Wars have been fought over the past and they have gone. So it is our own case will never be different. Our own war, it is going to fade away, and obviously there will always be a solution. There will obviously be a winner, whether we like it or not. So these are just natural things that happen. So it is not like when something is happening, we just give an over appreciation or an exaggeration of the situation. It is true that the two regional headquarters are gradually gaining steam to normalcy, but we cannot say that the divisional headquarters have the same momentum. It is not true. The 13 divisional headquarters they don't have the same momentum of back to school, return to normalcy. These are facts. All of us do go on ground all the time. And we live these realities. And we cannot say that just for gainsaying, saying that all the divisional headquarters
a part of the BLM, call one divisional headquarters that you think that effective back to
I
school
don't think you are the moderator
now,
yet.
excuse me, please. When I talk of le BLM is a division.
Okay,
and I am saying that the headquarters center of le BLM, they will be back to school. I am not saying that they will be back to school in all villages, there will be military there, everything will be perfect. No, I don't do hyperboy, I don't do exaggeration there. And most importantly, I don't say lies.
Land. He was about to land, and I will do the follow-up. I will do the follow-up as I did for you.
I don't think it is in the interest of anybody that they shouldn't be back to school. Whether it is the separatists or the government, it is the right of every child to go to school. Even the separatists, when this thing was hot, many of them they had to send their children back this way for their children to school. So we cannot say, they already realized that using, upholding school or stopping school from going as a bargain for the war is a failed attempt. And if you have been following their rhetorics over the past years, you will see that they don't really hold tight on this idea of not back to school. It is the parents who live in these areas to judge whether there is proper security for them to send their children to school or not. Not anybody not us to sit and dictate that things are back to normal. Parents can send their children to school. They who live in these areas are the best judges, not anybody.
Okay. G. Lucas, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. I'll be a little louder. Can you see me?
I don't know.
I can hear you.
I can hear you, but I cannot see you.
Yes.
Maybe your video is out.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. I want to get you listen to Kedia. I want to get your perspective. Kedia said in all the 13 divisional headquarters, things are very much to normal in terms of preparations of back to school. And I want us to
be a little audible, please.
Kedia said things are a bit normal in all the 13 divisions as far as in the northwest and southwest region is concerned. I want us to get a bit practical. You are in the southwest region. I want us to how ready are the 13 divisions in terms of back to school? We watch edit from the BLM in their all conclave. Instead, in the BLM, they had it in Mountain Hotel.
I think it would be good for us to be honest in the quest to ensure that our children go back to school. And I think what they need right now is that we should not give false hopes and false narratives, because it would have appeared that, or it would appear that we are trying to get them into harm's way without giving them caution on how they have to manage it. Yes, if you look in the 13 counties, if you go to the 13 divisions in the northwest and southwest region, you realize that there is that general call for back to school. However, all the 13 counties do not have the same preparation for back to school as we have it in other divisions. What we need to make known very clear is that we are not against schooling. We are calling on parents to ensure that children go to school, and we will not also lure them because we want to have good names, because a good name which brings a child into harm's way is not going to help. Let's be factual. We have
perfectly loud and clear.
Yes, I don't know, for whatever reason, maybe the audio decided to come than the video, but I was saying that if you can get the audio, I think it's fine, because what is also very important is that we should be able to send across the right information. Now, it is obvious that the 13 counties want children to go to school.
You talk about the divisions?
However,
please.
The divisions?
Yes. The subdivisions cannot be the same, because if you go to Fungom, for example, there are places in the Menchum division and in the Fungom subdivision which you will not have the same steam. If you come to Fako, for example, we have Tiko, we have Boya, we have Limbe, we have Edinong, we have Limbe 1 to 3, we have Edinong,
We have Moyoka.
and we also have
Moyoka.
we have
Moyoka.
Muyuka, and you will bear with me that there are places in Muyuka that does not have the same situation like you have it in Boya subdivision. Now, what is very clear and what is good for us to note is that we want children to go to school. We will call on everybody within these areas to ensure that they go to school because it is their right. However, the security disposition within these subdivisions mentioned and within the subdivisions we have in the 13 divisions in the Northwest and Southwest is not the same. If you go to a place like Furawa, where you have the Fungom subdivision in the Menchum division, it is not the same situation you will have. If you go to a place like Mwa, you will not have the same conditions which you have in Fako, which if you come to Fako, for example, schools are reopening tomorrow. We are aware that within Boya, there are places that will have schools reopening on Monday tomorrow, which is the 5th. We will not have the same on the 5th tomorrow in other places. I tell you the truth, we should speak it because we want children to go to school such that they can understand how to go about it. We have places where the non-state armed groups have decided that Monday is not a day known to us in their school calendar. These places, it is but obvious that if you go to a Kuna tomorrow, it will not be the case. If you come to Boya, for example, you will have places that will have school reopening tomorrow, Monday. It is no news that GBHS Moliko will be there tomorrow, GBHS Bokwango will be there tomorrow, GBHS Boyatan will be there tomorrow. We will not have GHS My 14 tomorrow. We are within the Boya subdivision. This is to tell you that the crisis has its own way within these areas and doesn't have it at the same degree in all these areas. So I think what is most important is that we should caution our people to send their children to school, to ensure that they go to school. We should not tell them lies because we want them to go to school. I think Robert is being fictional. Malamfe is being very fictional in what he has just said, that all these places will be the same. About a month or so ago, we had the Lebialem Socioeconomic Conference, which held in Mountain Hotel here in Boya. And in that conference, certain resolutions were taken. And we observed that one of the resolutions was to go back and ensure that a place like Menji be kept clean. Which if you go to Menji, you will have some areas that are not as it was said, because we understand the importance. If you go to Alor, it is not the same. And what is most important for us to also say and do is that we should encourage children to see reasons why they have to go back to school. Now, when we started the safe space, which you have here in some of the outskirts of Boya, precisely in the My 16 area, where I told you that we have more than 4 villages within this said area, you will realize that within this area, I guess you can get the video right now. Within this area, we have certain places that did not yield to this call. It was after where they got the needs and they said it is right for children to be in school, it is right for children to learn. When Reverend Habet started the safe space learning in 2019 in My 16, the situation was not the same across all the villages within the My 16 area. In places like Buanda, we never had children that would have the courage to come over. In places like Bulu, we never had the same case. In places like Ekande, we never had the same place. In places like Kombo, we never had the same place. It was the year or so after where we saw the government secondary school, they had to open their doors. Now, particularly when Rehabet took it upon himself to inform some of these people of the need for children to be in school, we had some of the schools that thought of opening their classes. We had the CBC school, My 16. It was 2 years later that we had the government school, My 16, that they had to open their doors for children to go to school. So this is to let you know that the 13 subdivision or the 13 divisions within the Northwest and Southwest and the divisions within the Northwest and South, the subdivisions, do not have the same steam when you talk about the back to school call. However, we will still keep on with the back to school. Like I said, Habet is doing what we call education evangelism, because we believe that it is the right of the children and should not for any reason be tampered with.
Okay.
So I want you to understand that, Robert, we have that call, we should make that call, we should place that call, we should not give false narratives. We should not make it fictional because we want to win the heart of some people. We should say the things the way they are because we want that the non-state armed groups who are watching us, who are hearing us, they are aware that children need to go to school.
Okay, if I get you briefly, I stay with you briefly. How false is Robert's narrative?
Pardon?
How false it is Kedia Robert's narrative? Because he just stated that the 13 divisional headquarters will have their schools effective. Whether come Monday. And he assured me that the same will be in Lebialem.
Well, we look forward to have Menji, which I think is going to bring a great joy. Personally, I want to hold my heart for the people of Lebialem. I want them to understand that we feel their pinch. I want you to understand that in the center where we have predominantly the internally displaced persons, the street children, and the less privileged within the communities, what you have to understand is that we have predominantly persons that are coming from Lebialem. This is because generally within their area, it is very difficult. Specifically Menji, we observed that even the day that they were installing the senior divisional officer for Menji division or for Lebialem division, we observed that it was not the case. My heart is still at my heart, still holding my heart, because I know how difficult it is for persons from Lebialem, like I said. Now, to say that the 13 headquarters of the 13 divisions in the Northwest and Southwest is going to be the same, it sounds very good. It appears very good. However, we should also not forget that not everybody is grouped within these 13 areas. It is unlike the case, let me take the case of when the kids were sitting for first school and common entrance, they were brought to the 13 headquarters. That is to say that when you come to Fako, for example, if you come to Boya subdivision, everybody, those in Muyuka Road in Boya, it is worth mentioning. Now, let me take the case of Boya, where we have the government schools also in my 16. We should not play games with people's life. We should caution them because we want that they should go to school. It will not be the case in my 16. It will not be the case in my 14. It will not be the case in my 15.
Munya.
It will not be the case in Bulu. It will not be the case in Bumaka. It will not be the case in Moya. Rather, like I said, we will have children that will go to school tomorrow, Monday, the 5th, in Boya, to be precise, in places like the government bilingual high school, Moliko. We will have persons that will go to school in the government bilingual high school
we'll be coming back to you.
Boyo Town, and it will be the same in Bokwango.
We'll be coming back to you.
It will be the same in the government nursery primary schools, the government bilingual nursery primary schools, which we have it in the long street just around the military barracks.
Thank you.
Now, this is but obvious. We have the government primary school in my 16 that will not have the same case. And it is very obvious that in this area, because of the threats, because of the calling of the non-state armed groups, which will have confusing information that schools, according to the non-state armed groups,
we'll be coming back to you
by the 5th of October.
Mr. Lucas.
Now, you need to know that.
Mr. Lucas, we'll be coming back to you.
Yes.
We'll be coming back to you. Let me get to Kedia. Kedia, do you agree with what Mr. Lucas said? He is a spearheader of Back to School and one of those who braved the odds to open their doors for learning, formal learning, in my 16, despite the fact that all schools were closed down. And he says we should encourage back to school, but we should do that with caution and be aware that there are some places where on Monday, by virtue of the situation on the ground, may not be effective, like Moya, my 16, Bolifamba, and other areas I mentioned, but that in Boya town, there will be schools, those in Moliko.
Yes, it's true, because the Monday Ghost Town is still there in some areas that affect daily activities in those areas. Before I continue, I want to tell my co-panelists that please, we should be talking about divisions and subdivision and not county, because
no,
I
he
do not
corrected
understand
himself. And maybe he was talking to both sides.
Now, let me repeat myself again. The structure of Cameroon is made up of region, division, subdivision, and district. And I still repeat myself again. In all the divisional headquarters, schools will be effective there. We should not come and make a picture, let our viewer believe that the entire division of Libialem, there is no school that exists there. Because we saw the military, the installation of the SDO, that many people, maybe people were scared to go there, that after they may be attacked by this armed group. We should not make people believe that it's only the military.
But why should they be afraid, even after when in your introduction you said Field Marshal has been killed, so everything will be normal? Why should they still be afraid? Because this installation came after the demise of Field Marshal.
It is their mindset, and that is why we are here.
Okay.
To counsel and communicate with them. Fear is normal, and I don't have any problem with someone that believe that I will not do this because of that. What I can do is to talk and convince the person to see things in the good perspective. We should not make people think that it's only the military. So are we saying that for the past 5 years, 2020, 2021, there is no school that is functioning in Libialem? That I will come here and I say that there will be school in the headquarter, the chief town of Libialem, and it becomes a debate? Schools have been going on there. We should not make people believe that no single. So are you telling me that for 2021, no single school is going on in the entire division of Libialem? That would be blaspheming. That would be unfair. That would be unjust, and that would be unrealistic.
We're talking reality, not fiction.
So what I'm saying is that is the other aspect. Now, where we have problem have to do with the villages, the interior. That is where the nooks and crannies inside. That is what we should be discussing about, on how measures could be put in place.
Now you have just
ensure that
answered me to my question, because I wanted to ask what are the things we must do to ensure that this education effective resumption is not at the level of divisional headquarters and should be within the peripheries. For example, like in Ekona, we should have schools in Ekona. We should have schools in Bombe Bakundu. We should have schools in Malende. We should have schools in Yoke. We should have schools in Nakebole. All the schools that exist in Kwakwa, Nakebole, Kombe should be effective. What should we do? What should be done?
The first and most important thing that must be done is that we should give back powers and authority to those that controlled it before.
Now, who took them?
Our brothers in the diaspora deceive many people, make the people to hate their chiefs, to hate their priests and pastors. The legitimate power should be given back to those people, and let the chiefs, let the priests and the pastors collaborate with the family so that these children can go back to school. Now, when we say they should go back to school, who are those depriving them from going back to school? They are their brothers, those that have picked up arms. And majority of them are illiterate. They don't know the importance of school. That is why somebody that have picked up arms that did not even go to any college will feel free to go and burn down an entire college. Communication needs to be enlightened among families, among village people, on how they can collaborate together and make their children understand, those that have picked up arms, to understand that no matter the conflict, you don't go to a school, you don't go to a hospital, and you don't go to the church. These are international and fundamental human rights that they ought to respect. Let these children go back to school in those areas. My co-panelist was calling names here, Mbonge, he called many names here, which during this crisis, these areas were hit. And it's time for the chief of those villages to talk with their people in collaboration with men of God, priests and chiefs, and any person that have moral value, moral elite, social elites and economic elites so that they should come together and ensure that there is back to school. I would not like to call political elites because some people have their interpretation and their digestion, but we have social elite like pastor, chiefs, and the rest that they need to communicate with the people so that they can be effective back to school.
Kedia, a while ago you made mention of the fact that we should give back powers. That power should be given back to the people who used to control things. When you say power should be given, who took their powers? Are you by chance saying that the powers now, those controlling North and Southwest, are different people? Because those whom you claim that things are normal, they don't have powers, as you asked that we should give back powers. Where are the powers gone to?
When I talk about power here, I'm not talking about the political power of the government, because the government is always standing.
No, I'm
tall.
looking at. I'm not looking.
I
at
am
the political
talking
power. I'm
now
looking at
about
the context of the chiefs, those who you said our power should be given to them. Who took their powers?
Many of these chiefs that were Republican chiefs that came out openly to say Amba is evil, we saw people rising against them. We saw separatist fighters rising against them. We saw chiefs that ran away from their palaces. We saw men of God that ran away from their church, and many other economic and social elites. It is time for us now to give them back powers.
No, my question is who took the powers?
The people. The people of those villages. Because they were carried away by the lies that were told by some of our brothers in radio station, TV station, and on social media. They deceived many people, and many people were carried away. It's 4 years today. We know now that it was a scam. They told us the United Nations is coming. They told us there will be a country that there will be money everywhere. They deceived our people, and the gullible people decided to follow them. You remember when this crisis started, we know the elite, they are still there. Those that say children should not go to school.
So if I get your context correctly, there is the administrative powers is there from the government, but from the opinion power, the opinion leaders power, the power of influence from traditional perspective is in the hands of the people. Which people now that are we talking about? Because the same people who are saying that they should send their children to school are saying that they cannot send their children to school because there is insecurity. And though we are clamoring that they should send their children to school. Now, which people have these powers? Is it the ordinary man in Bonge who is unable to even have food on his table? Who is in control of that power that was taken?
The people, the masses, the ordinary man gives power. Some areas today.
So why were the power taken? Because they stood against Amba?
No, because
or are you by chance saying that because they stood against Amba, the people took their power, then the people are Amba?
Don't put words in my mouth.
No, I am
saying that
clarity.
Many elites, chiefs were discredited by the fighters.
And their powers were taken.
And the people, now the common people, discredited their chiefs.
Okay, now they discredited their chiefs.
Their chiefs.
Meaning that...
And now it's time for them to know that they were deceived and to start to collaborate with their chiefs.
So which in essence you are saying that the ordinary people who took the powers from their chiefs are 100% in support of the separatists. Therefore, if the separatists are saying no school, it means that the ordinary people buy to them?
I said, and I still repeat, that in 2017, 2018, they were discredited. The people were discredited. And now they are collaborating, and I am saying that the collaboration should be more.
Okay.
Who does not know that chiefs ran away from their villages? Are you not aware? Chiefs ran away from their villages. We had chiefs that were in Yaoundé. Because they were discredited by their people, not Amba.
But why?
And the time has come now for that legitimacy of those people to collaborate with their chiefs and their elites so that they can work together and send Amba away and let school continue. When I say give back power, Yes, it is in a it is not in a physical perspective the way you reason. I know my viewers, they understand me. You have your own reason, you understand. But it is not that power was taken. When you say it was taken, it seems as if power is a bundle of something that you just go and you
have
pick
said their
and you go.
legitimacy was.
That's the word I used.
Question,
legitimacy was questioned.
Yes.
Some of them they ran away, and it's time for us to for the collaboration. Okay. How many of our leaders today? Are you aware that we have our leaders in? We have our children that are in the government today, struggling for us, but many of them have been discredited.
But
if Agbobara talks, they insult him. The bishops, the cardinal spoke. People said he has collected money.
I have one minute for you. 1 minute. 1 minute, because I have to get to Innocent and Nick. 1 minute. And I have to get also to you. 1 minute. Now, if we say, okay, now they have lost their legitimacy, and so the powers, now the legitimacy, let me not use the word power, because you said power was taken. You said you meant legitimacy. Now, that legitimacy is no longer there. Now, why is their legitimacy, what made their legitimacy to be taken away? Because we believe and we know that they are custodians and traditional rulers of the people. Is it that because they say the voice of the people is the voice of God? Are you by saying that at the point in time they were not representing the voice of God?
They were representing the voice of God, their ancestors too.
Okay.
But what I say is that when this struggle started in 2017, 2018,
yes,
we were deceived through social media and other means in which our leaders were discredited. Okay. And the time has come for us to say stop, which it has already been done. Many chiefs have gone back and they are collaborating with their people, and peace is coming. And for us to end this, we need to collaborate. If the chiefs and all the notables and the people in villages, they say no to Amber, it will stop and the children will go to school, because we have seen areas where the people collaborated with their chief and sent away Amber from the village.
We're coming back to you. And also we have seen areas where chiefs were kidnapped, they have never returned, like the son of Bambalang, who is the president of the Northwest House of Chiefs, and even the House of Chiefs has not even issued formal communique to even ask, to even explain the situation, which means that powers, as you said, is still in the hands of the people in that area. Let me come to you, Innocent Barozil. What should be done now to ensure that this effectiveness that Kedia is talking about within the divisional headquarters, because he was emphatically clear that the divisional headquarters will have effective resumption. And so what should be done now to ensure that all the other villages, like in Wum, like in Mesaje, like in Momo, in Atong, in Oshe, in Jikwa, in Kun, like right in Akwaya, right down, move down to Pete, Munyangeb, like you highlighted, Bopo. All these areas should have schools as they were. What should be done? Who takes responsibility?
Okay, let me answer that question of why the chiefs lost their legitimacy. The truth is that the chiefs are the real ones that can talk to these people, because the chief knows them. But chieftaincy is not voted. Maybe in the southwest, in some region, in Boya, they intervene in politics. Because when I saw the way they were behaving, but in the BLM division and the northwest, it's not like that. Chiefs is a natural gift from God, and chieftaincy is hereditary. Now, chiefs are for everybody. The chief lost their legitimacy because they started join politics, and now when you are maybe SDF, the chief is CPDM, you come, the chief will not attend to you. And some of these elites, let me tell you that the truth is that in the BLM division, I am from there. I will not call the village, but do you know? No, wait, I'm saying that I'm from the BLM division, but I want to say something. Do you know that Porterson is just he's the first minister, the BLM person to be appointed as the minister? I mean, for how many years? Do you know why? Because a particular fund in the BLM division, when they told him, the government told him that look for one of your elites to be appointed as a minister, because the fund, the educational qualification was not there. He said he should be the one. Then they should appoint him. What I'm trying to say is that what? If all this is happening and people see a particular something like this Amber crisis that is coming up, they are disrespecting the chiefs. Why? Because the chiefs are not treating everybody equally.
They are now political and partisan.
Yeah, that's the first thing. The chiefs are not soft to me. Those chiefs should go back to their village, beg their people, call them.
Denounce their political stance?
Of course, denounce it. call them. Now we have made mistakes. It's the chief that make mistakes, not the people. Nobody, I know that all those people in the diaspora, but I don't even understand. These guys who pick arms, that is their own choice. And they are, to me, that is their own way that they know that they can live their own lives. These children who are going to school, that is their own, what they have decided that they will better their lives. In the previous years, they will kill students, kill teachers, kill people. Why are they killing them? If you choose your own road, I choose my own road. Why is the reason why you will be attacking me? Because I choose my own road. These guys should know that in life there is choice. Even God, who make all of us, because tomorrow all of us will die. God created all of us and give us a choice.
And he advised us. He did not force us. He said, I'll give you good and
exactly.
He said, please.
Yes, I'm giving you between life and death.
He said, please choose.
So now,
these chiefs that left Northwest and Southwest are not only CPDM.
These people want people. No, I'm not saying CPDM. I said politics. Listen,
they are not. They are chiefs.
No, tell me one chief.
Kedia, he said because he's
tell me one chief.
Hold on, please. He said, Kedia, there are some chiefs who are either SDF, CPDM, and when an SDF man comes, you not cheat, or a CPDM man comes,
you will not treat the person well.
And that
was Chiefs left Northwest and Southwest because they were against Amber fighters.
Excuse me, Kedia. There are some chiefs, there are some forms who have never left their village.
Yes, exactly.
Who have never left their village. Who have never left their area of origin. Like Belamoki Charles has always gone to his town, and also the late
because he's in Boya.
But listen, because he's in Boya.
Jega too has been going to his own area. Jega Ngala has been going.
Because he has made Kambe not to have the crisis. Kambe is free.
So that's what we are saying.
Let me tell you something. The people listen to you depending the way you are living your life. That is it. That is the truth. Have you ever asked yourself why is it that people will be living in Munya? You are in Munya, me I'm in Munya, all of us we are living in Munya. They will come and kidnap you and they leave me. Have you ever asked yourself? It's because the way you are living your life, maybe people were working for you, you were not paying them.
So it's people
so they used that to settle scores. The way the chiefs were treating people, you will just I'm CPDM person. I come to you, not pay attention to me because I'm CPDM. No, everybody have the choice to belong to any party. It's a choice. Everybody has to have a choice to do whatever you want to do. So far, you will not go against the state and you will not go against your neighbor. So far, you will not break the law. You have the right to do whatever you want to do. But now, these chiefs now were not giving us. There will be a position in the village. One elite will come and take maybe only people in his family. Others are seeing it. You understand? Others are seeing it. So you don't say anything. Now you want to come now and call me now.
Okay.
That's cool. Because let me finish.
Our chiefs, our pastors for effective back to school.
The fact is that most people are graduates. They have not had jobs.
My question now back. What should we do to get these villages?
These chiefs who are the real people who can settle this crisis, they should come back to their villages, or they should come to the TV like this one, beg the people, tell them that they make a fatal mistake, and go back to their villages and call these people.
What mistake did they do?
And call this. They
were sent out of their village because they were against Amber.
They were discriminatory.
Before Amber,
even before Amber,
were they not political?
Even before Amber, they were discriminatory.
Our chiefs were they not doing politics? Why were they not changing?
That's what he's saying, that people are now using the score.
Yes, to settle scores. Like before Amber, they were discriminatory.
He asked a question that why is it that in the community you will live in where I will live in where they'll come and kidnap us and so and leave. He said because maybe when the things were normal, you were not paying.
Exactly, you are not doing. You are not treating people well.
As a window of opportunity.
Yes.
But however,
you
what
understand?
should be done now to get this back
to
school?
That's what I'm trying to say. That first thing, I went to Munya the other day, about 3 weeks ago. I realized that policemen were holding some small boys and charging them and removing things on them. And those boys looked to me like students. Just of recent, as I was coming, one woman was saying that the child who is schooling in University of Boya, they just came one morning. She is my 16. They came one morning and just arrested them. When now they have to give 50,000. That is now the students, the very same students that you wonder they should go to school. They are the same students now, the security now, and even say he's a student. They said no way. And he had to give 50,000 from before he was released. The same people that you are, when you make that people are afraid to go to school. And please, when we are talking, we should forget about Boya. Mutengene, in short, even Boya has experienced this crisis more than Mutengene. Mutengene has never experienced any crisis. Mutengene has never. Me, I used to sell books in the Southwest. But books selling was always sometime in Munya, book selling stopped. and in Boya. But Mutegede has never experienced this crisis because of the geographical location, which it is. He has never experienced this crisis. So when we are talking, we should talk of how can children go to school, how can we do for students to go to school in Kekata, in Moyoka, in
Bafia.
Oko, in Bafia,
Munyenge.
in Akwaya, in Munyenge, all those places like that, Kwakwa, Mato.
What should be done?
What should be done? The first thing is that these are brothers in the butches. They should know that everybody has his choice. They should know that everybody has his choice. You make your own choice, I make my own. So those who have decided that they should go to school, they should leave them. The same people are in the diaspora. The other day I saw in social media, one group where I belong. One of them, who is engineering, particularly the people of the BLM, Chris Anu, he was there. Every time he's talking. Even as Kedia Robert died, he's still saying some of them. So let me show the BLM elites. I don't know. I know the BLM people, my people, to be very intelligent. One of the most intelligent people in this Cameroon are the BLM people. I don't know why somebody will be deceiving them to the extent where they will not send their children to school. Why those people are abroad sending their own children in school? Why those same people are in Yaoundé sending their own children in school? Are in Douala, in Bafousta sending their own children in school? Then those who are the grassroots don't have money. They are not able to send their children to school. They should know that all this thing is just deceit. They should look for means and another thing is so that all these people they know them. That's what I'm trying to say, that all these people where they are, they know them.
Okay.
If they want that this crisis should even end today, the people can stop the crisis because where those people are hiding, they know them.
Okay, thank you.
And those who are also hiding, they should know that everybody has his own choice and allow people to go to school. Okay. The government also should also try to make the place to be conducive in such a way. Even police want to be in this 5 or 10 of
Thank
them.
you.
At least I can be and CV.
Thank you. Before I get to Nick Anu, I'll read some messages, then I'll get to Nick Anu. But I want to say this, that 2 weeks ago, members of this program, House of Commons, donated bags of rice and some foodstuffs to internally displaced persons in Berry, especially those badly affected who are living in Mabanda. You know how Mabanda is. You know that it is not too good for some of our brothers who are IDPs. And today, we are going to donate exercise books to the same IDPs who are willing to go back to school. Parents want to send their children to school, even not the amount that they ought to have. They want to manage the school at their level to send their children to school. So after this program, the House of Commons team will be going to Berry, where we'll go and donate books and give scholarships to 2 children to go back to school. In our only 2 effort to promote education and such that posterity will have people to replace us when we are far gone. And so if you are watching us, you are moved and you want to assist in this move, you can also, the numbers are on your screen, you can make your own donation so that when we are going, we add and buy even pens and add to the ones we already have and go and give those of our brothers who are away from their homes and are struggling to get education. The numbers on your screen. You can get to me after this program. You can write me. And also, if you want to be a member of House of Commons, you want to participate in our debate, you can contact me on the numbers on your screen. I'll put you into our general group when I put the topic. If it is of your interest, then of course, you indicate we'll call you to come and participate. Instead of saying that you don't want what Mr. A is saying, what Mr. B is saying is all lies. This is a platform where you can come and say your own and take responsibility for your statement. Good day and happy Sunday to House of Commons. Do you know that after the rounds made by the Minister of Public Service in all the 8 training schools in Cameroon, he told us that as we graduate from school, we should receive full salary. But that's not the case. We graduated in 2021, posted, but receiving half salary as we speak. Now, some don't even have salary. I am a victim. Paul Samuel writing from Douala. I'm sure he's a teacher. And this other one reads, it says, good day, Jarvis. Please, good day, Jarvis. Mamija Prime, please should go right up to Moyoka Tombe Mbonge, because they too need those things. From Boya. Yes, they too need those things. I'm sure I will also extend a hand of fellowship for internal displaced to those who also in the area of origin that you have mentioned. If the people took the power, that means that they were not right people, they were not the right person where they should be. This is Monday from Boya. That Kedia is arrogant. No, Kedia is not arrogant now, my brother. He's just presenting his view.
How can you say that? How can you say that?
Happy Sunday, my media prime, House of Commons. We talk about back to school. What about the Northwest region, especially in the Boyo division, where many private schools have been declared illegal? We only talk about public schools and resumption. That's also another worry, Kedia, the private schools that were declared illegal, including confessional schools. Greetings to those in the panel and happy Sunday to you all. Let the CPDM militant tell their government to withdraw the military to barrack. It is a senseless war that they will never win. And I repeat, they will never win. Stop promoting the CPDM in that debate. We are in a democracy and everybody has a right. And we are also a Republican. And so we must also ensure educate people. Let me come back to what should be done to ensure that schools resume in some of the peripheries, in the areas, those deep nooks and crannies. Because Kedia has been clear here, and everybody also look at that. Yes, the divisional headquarters is okay, and that we should also move to the peripheries.
Yeah, I think back to school will never be automatic. It's going to be progressive, and so for it to be progressive, there are multi-level approach that we'll have to implement for this progression to be effective. For example, the bone of contention in all of this is peace. Is because there's no peace, there's insecurity. And also, why is there no peace? Why is there insecurity? Because there's an armed conflict going on. And how can you bring effective peace? Is seeing how to solve this problem from the root so that there can be lasting peace. Because what we are doing, campaigning for school resumption, is just kind of momentary. Just like students should go back to school so that it should give the impression that things have become normal or problems have been solved. Meanwhile, people are still boiling in their minds and hearts with pain and grief. I think the greatest problem why this crisis even came into play was because of our elite. In Cameroon, we have our elites are the most dangerous kind of people, especially our political elite. They are the ones who masterminded this crisis to come to this level. Because if they lose legitimacy in the people, it's because in the past they have not been doing what they were mandated to do. They go to your village and check. You will see that the greatest problem of your village is your elite.
No,
your village elite.
Are you saying that the elite told the voices, in quote, to pick up arms? Are you saying that the elite says you should cut the arms of people? Are you saying the elite says...
No, this is not what I'm saying.
I'm coming. Are you saying the elite says you should go and be burning villages? Are you saying the elite says you should arrest people arbitrarily? Are you saying the elite says you should kidnap people and ask for ransom? Are you saying the elite says you should just go and start shooting around indiscriminately? Because it's both sides there. We're looking at both sides.
No, all of these you are mentioning are just a spillover of the crisis. We're talking of what the elites were doing prior to this crisis. Because every crisis has a foundation. It has the root where there are some things the elites were doing. For example, if in your area of origin, you are a parliamentarian, instead for you to clamor for the development of your place, you go and stay in your own day, they give money, you eat, you stay there, you abandon your people. And when crises come up, you want to come and then appease your people. It is just natural that the people will chase you away. Same to like the chiefs and the rest. They were kind of romancing with the government not to develop their own area of origin. And it is just by normal that if the crisis come up, the people will feel frustrated and angry against their chief or their elite. Why is it that the elites, some elites or chiefs have been living permanently in Yaoundé since this crisis started? I'm talking, for example, like the BLM, if you go there, there is no fund. There is no fundum where the fund is living. The BLM has about 17 condoms. Yes. None of them is living in their condoms. If you can go and verify and see. Many of them are living out of. And they hold a meeting about school resumption in the BLM in Boya. Why could they not go to the BLM and show an example?
Expecting that before now they should be in the BLM and be sending videos and be...
Yeah, it was for them to show that they were sincere. They were supposed to hold this meeting in the BLM and even assist, go and show example, assist in clearing some of these schools to show that, yeah, we are really ready for school resumption, not playing to the gallery as before. I think all of these gimmicks will lead us to nowhere. For school to resume in these two regions, it is multi-level approach. The government has to give in, the separatists have to give in, and so on and so forth. The people themselves have to give in, and so on. It is not just, yes, the government, it is not the matter of the government. The government cannot decree that school should resume in this area. It will never work. The government have been trying this since 2016, and all of us have been seeing the result. It has never worked. So the government should also be humble to think that the government is not something that's coming from heaven and then being imposed on the people. The power of the government should stem from the people, not from themselves. Yeah. It is only in Cameroon that in every dialogue, the government has never said they have addressed the root cause of the crisis.
They have redeployed teachers, they have accelerated decentralization.
The government has used
House of Chiefs. They have the dialogue is a continuous process. Disarmament center,
special status, and you forgot about that one.
So those are the things. But the separatists and the government.
No, this is the problem we have. How can you say that the House of Chiefs
is the worst thing that they do? You those very people don't care for the welfare of their people.
You say you want House of Chiefs, they give you. You come today and say it's the worst thing.
The government is paying those chiefs. The government is spending money on those chiefs. The chiefs don't even care about the people. They are creating the House of Chiefs so that the chiefs will be feeding fat. Why the people are lavishing in pace? You are talking of the elites. The elites have refused to better the life of their citizens. And that is why, for instance, why is it that some of us do not engage in the crisis? Because we are landed. Because at least we have hope. We have hopes. But somebody who is not even educated, somebody who has not even seen...
You ask for House of Chiefs, it is created,
I'm saying
it is not important. Our brother is saying that he wants to see elite go back and create price for back to school. If the elites they do that, you will still complain that they are doing a show.
That those chiefs don't even care about the people. Those chiefs don't care about the people.
Okay, we are out of time. We are out of time.
Those chiefs don't care about the people.
We just land briefly. We are out of time.
Okay, I was saying that conclusively that for there to be effective back to school, we should treat the wound. We should stop bandaging the wound. Because all of this we are doing, clamoring for back to school, it is good, yes. The right to education is a fundamental human right. It is the right of the children to go back to school. Yes, but how do we ensure effective back to school, a sustainable back to school? You can only have this by bringing a sustainable solution to this crisis.
We're out of time.
Anything short of that, we'll just be crying this every day.
Yeah, last word before we go briefly. We're out of time.
Yes, I would just want to say this for other people to copy. The senior divisional officer of Nsungkikang, Funtong Anderson, has gone further to collaborate with the chiefs to ensure that there is back to school and the chiefs come back to collaborate with the mayor and to make all family to believe that in the entire Nsungkikang they should know that they are part of the vigilante to ensure that there is security. He's collaborating with
us Kedia. Thank you.
And
thank you.
Youth parliamentarian to ensure that there is effective back to
school. Thank you for coming. Thank you, G. Lucas, for coming. I don't know if Nji Lucas is there. Nji Lucas, thank you for coming. We don't have Nji Lucas there. Thank you for coming. Innocent Barozil.
Yes, thank you for inviting me. I just want to say that these are brothers in the bushes. They should know that they have made their choice. They should allow those who have chosen to go to school in peace.
Okay, thank you all. All those of you who took our time to send us your message, we want to say thank you very much. We want to appreciate you. Thank you for coming. Lucas, thank you to Innocent Barozil, and also all those of you who are watching us who have written to us on House of Commons. Simon in Ekondo Titi, want to say thank you too for participating. Like I mentioned that some of you have been trying to call us. Please, we take only SMS and we don't take calls during the program. I only take calls after the program. Immediately after the program, you can contact me and give us your worry, and I will attend to you. As I made mention that the House of Commons team last week donated bags of rice and foodstuff to some internally displaced persons who are really living in deplorable condition in Mambadan neighborhood. This Sunday, after this program, at exactly 3 or 2:30, we'll be going down there to Bonaberry to give books and didactic materials to our brothers who are still in those deplorable conditions, who are unable to get those resources. We want to give them books so that the little money they have, they can focus on something else, that those children should go to school. Because as we said, education is an inalienable right of a child. We will need to start thinking about posterity and also start thinking about continuity. And that's why they should go to school so that they will come and replace us when we will no longer have the energy in the next 20 to 30 years to sit on the same platform. But if they don't go to school, we will have a society that they will not be able to replace us. Sustainability will be lacking. And what we are experiencing in South Africa is what we may experience in Cameroon and in the northwest and southwest region, where someone who probably did not go to school for far too long think that a medical doctor has taken his or her job, and that may not be the case. And so if you want to also assist us in this process, in this procedure, the numbers on your screen, you can send us your own contribution as we go add to it and get these materials to these people. And if you want to be a panelist to our program, you want to join us, you can want to talk on this program and you want to debate on topics, please write to me after this program, or you contact me. I will include you into our WhatsApp group. I'll leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that school is a good thing, learning is a good thing. I go to school to learn, I shall know ABC. Thank you, Mama. Thank you, Papa. Angelina, oh Mama. Angelina, oh Papa. Jane, J, Allah. Bye-bye from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala, Fengu, John Bange. My name is Tah MaH Jarvis.
Welcome to a new world of TV broadcasting. My Major Prime. News,